Hello guys, welcome back to another Major Ben video. This is a shorter one today. The news has just dropped today that the PSVR 2 headset has been announced. It's been revealed for the release date. Not revealed, but the release date has been revealed, and the price, which is the most important part. It's a little bit of an eye-opening price here. I think we all knew that this was going to be a fairly expensive device. I didn't think it would be this expensive, but it is definitely expensive for sure. Like, a lot more than I thought it was going to be. So let's talk about this anyway. So Sony has announced the official launch and pricing details for the PSVR 2. It's a new virtual reality headset designed to work specifically with the PS5. The PSVR 2 will launch on the 22nd of February 2023. Day before my birthday, by the way. And in the UK, this will cost £530, or in the US, it's $550 or $549 or whatever. That is absolutely insane. It is more than the PlayStation 5 costs itself, which is the actual hardware that's running the visuals that you're seeing through this PSVR. It's absolutely crazy. If you want the bundle with Horizon Call of the Mountain, the launch title for this PlayStation VR, this would be £570 or $600 in the US. Separately, you can pay £40 or $50 for extra PSVR 2's controlling charging dock, which again is a ridiculous amount of money to charge that, but this allows you to charge your controllers without connecting them to your PlayStation 5, so it's kind of one of those necessities that makes it a lot easier to just dock things these days. So that is there. Would have been nice to have that bundled in for this price. Altogether, this would mean you'd pay £610 for the PSVR 2, a game and its dock, which is absolutely insane. As a reminder, the PlayStation 5 console itself, which of course you'll need for the PlayStation VR 2, is now priced at £480 or £390 for the discless version. So this thing is ridiculously expensive, and together you'll be paying over £1,000 for this PSVR and the PlayStation 5 headset. So you actually, £1,090, I believe it is, for everything combined. This is insane. Unless you are a complete VR fan, then I seriously suggest that you don't buy this. If you're not a fan of VR and you've not tried it before, then I suggest you don't go out and spend this amount of money on it. I've tried one and it makes me feel very motion sick. Even the top of the line PC ones that are still going to be better than this run at even higher frame rate, excuse me, and have better games. That one makes me feel sick too. Not better games. Before I get criticized, you're not going to have Call of the Mountain on the PC version, but you do have things like Half-Life Alyx that's not on this device yet, at least. But to me, this is really eye-opening. £530 for this device, and over £1,000 for this, and the actual PS5 itself. You could build a pretty decent PC for that. And then obviously the game cost as well. It's obviously going to be £40 per game at this point. That seems a lot for these kind of titles. And I was talking to my friend earlier when this literally just got announced about the fact that this thing is a very kind of... It's a novelty product, in my personal opinion. I don't see VR being the way that most people are ever going to game. I obviously think that the native way that we do it on the TVs and stuff is always the way forward. But this seems to be something that is growing, at least. But I don't think it's going to ever be the only thing that exists. I don't think we're all going to be playing with VR headsets one day. I might be wrong. This is just my personal opinion. That's why it's my video. But if this is what things are going to cost, like on top of the hardware that you already buy, it's just a lot of money. But to put it in perspective, though, compared to some of the PC headsets that are very similar spec, this thing is actually very cheap. I just think for the device you're playing it on, the fact that it costs so much more than that device just doesn't seem right. If you're going to spend £3,000 on a PC and max spec it out, and you spend £1,000 on a headset, it doesn't seem quite as bad. But when you're spending £480 on a PlayStation 5, and then a further £610 for the VR 2 and the game, which is, over £100 more than you're actually paying for the device that's running all this stuff, it just seems a little bit weird. The fact that they were able to bring the power of the PS5 down to a reasonable price, and they can't bring this device down a little bit more, considering it has it's not running the thing exclusively on this headset. Like, what you guys have to understand, the headset is not powering these games. Yes, it's got it on the display, but the PS5 is what's powering the headset. It's running everything through the PlayStation. You're just looking at displays and probably a chip in the headset, obviously, that's converting everything to the way you're seeing it, but it just seems excessive when you're only spending that amount on a PlayStation to then go out. And the funny thing is, the people that will buy this are the same ones that say, I don't want to go to PC, it's too expensive. You could build a more powerful PC for £1,090 here in the UK than a PS5 by far, like, especially if you use second-hand parts. So I don't know. This seems a lot to me, in my personal opinion. I'm not going to be picking this up. I don't care for VR, as I said. It makes me feel very motion sick. And I think it's a problem a lot of people have. And this is what worries me. People might go out and buy this for £600 and then be like, oh, I actually can't use this because it makes me feel motion sick. So yeah, you want to be careful. Maybe try some, if you've got a friend or anybody you know who you can try one, or if these things go in stores. I don't know with COVID whether they'll allow people to like try them out, but I seriously recommend trying this thing. Make sure it's okay with you personally, because as I said, I get sick, and if I play for like an hour with this thing, I will genuinely throw up. Like, motion sickness is a real problem with these things, especially the last gen, but even the more powerful ones, as I said earlier, with higher frame rates and stuff, they still make me feel motion sick. So this isn't a product for me. Maybe for some of you, but a lot of you, it might not be too. And yeah, can you guys let me know what you think down in the comments below? Do you think this is a reasonable price for this device? Do you think this is going to be a good selling device? What's the stock going to be like for this thing? That's the other thing we got to talk about here. This thing's going to be sold out for a long time. I reckon throughout the Christmas period and in this holiday period, this thing is going to be very hard to get a hold of, because despite me not liking it and me saying, you know, the price is a lot, there are a lot of people who will go out and buy this. A lot of people will buy this sort of stuff. There's a lot of Sony fans who are just so die-hard that they will literally just buy every Sony product. But yeah, I think there's one thing I wanted to touch on. The fact that it's launching in February is, I think it's good. I think Sony doesn't have a ton of stuff set for next year at this point. I think they've left a gap, and it kind of explains why they haven't got a load of launch dates ready for sort of early part of next year. I think this is what they've been planning, and I think it makes sense that they've left a bit of a space for this. They do have games like the Dark Pictures Switchback VR, which is an exclusive Dark Pictures game for this PlayStation VR. And that's something as well, that you are already seeing other people supporting this headset. So that's good news for the headset. That's great news. That there's a lot of games sort of set, or some games set from other companies, not just Sony first-party games, because that's obviously what's important, is not just getting Sony's first-party games, but actually getting games from other developers. The second thing I wanted to touch on before I end this video is the reason I don't think this is going to be one of those things that replaces gaming is because, or replaces standard ways of gaming, is because you're not, the thing that frustrates me about this, and the reason I would adopt it more if this happened, is the fact that you're not playing the games that are coming out on everything else. These games, it's like when the PS Vita came out, you're getting like Sony's own versions, like a Horizon game, but it's not Forbidden West or anything like that. You're just getting Call of the Mountain. It's probably going to be good. The Star Wars game, you're not going to get the Jedi Fallen Orders. You're just going to get a Star Wars game. And the same, the Dark Pictures games, you're not going to get a full main Dark Pictures game. You're going to get a switchback VR version of a game, which again isn't the true Dark Pictures games. And it's kind of like, well, you're paying all this money, more than you would for actual console itself, to then play games that are pretty watered down. The only one I can see here is Resident Evil Village. I don't know about the VR Resident Evil Village, but what we can say is most games are not going to be the actual versions of those games. You're not going to get God of War Ragnarok VR, like or the main story at least. You may get a spin-off, something like that, but it's not going to be the main story. Anyway, that's it for this video. That's what I wanted to talk about. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm always interested to hear your opinions. Thank you for watching my video. I'll see you in future ones. Please leave a like, subscribe for more. See you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.